Hello there, my name is Lee. And I'm Ned. And we have watched a classic. We have indeed watched a classic. We watched a movie called The Terminator. Ha ha! Your first time seeing it, wasn't it? Yep. What did you think of it? Well, let's find out. Let's get into it. So, The Terminator 1984, the movie opens up with a futuristic landscape. What do you think of that? Oh, still looks good. It doesn't look like it's old-fashioned graphics or old-fashioned effects. It looks pretty cool. And then we see some electrical lightning happening in present day in like a, I think it's like a junkyard, is it? I don't know. Well, whatever it is, there's a man driving a big vehicle. Yeah, and he sees the lightning and he goes, "What the hell?" Yeah, he kind of does. His name is Fats Chino Williams. What? Or maybe it's Chino Fats Williams, I think that's it. Right. How do you know him? Well, he's in Rocky 3. Really? Is he Clubber Lang? No, he's not. No, you've still not seen the Rocky movies, have you? Still not. We will get to them. So you keep saying. But he's in Rocky 3. He's one of the bums in the alley. He's also in Roadhouse. Patrick Swayze throws some car keys at him. And he says, "I look like a goddamn valet." Or words to that effect. What does Patrick say? Patrick says, "Just keep the car." That's kind. Yeah. Anyway, so he's the only person that sees this electrical storm happening. What he doesn't see though is a man emerging from that small electrical storm. Yeah, a dig nan. A dig naked nan. Cover your eyes. Well, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah, he is a large nan. He comes across three young guys, three hoodlums, three hoodlums who are smashing beer bottles and arguing with each other, but really, not doing any harm really. And they see this naked man coming up, and as teenage hoodlums are prone to do, they start to have a little bit of fun, and they say, "Nasty laundry day, nothing clean, right?" And Arnold Schwarzenegger, who is the T-800, we'll learn later, right, he repeats them, "Nothing clean, right?" Yeah, who is that? That was my Arnold Schwarzenegger impression. Don't do it again. He demands clothes from the hoodlums, and they try to fight him off, but he easily beats them up because he's massive, and he's a machine. He's a cyborg. But we don't know that yet. All we know is he's appeared in a strange ball of lightning. Right, like Thor. Sort of like Thor. I would be Thor too if I had to travel in lightning naked. And there's another flash of lightning, and this time it's in a dark alley, and a homeless guy is lying having a drink, just on his own, just hating life, and he sees the flash of lightning and he sees another naked man appear. A skinnier one. Yeah, he's still in good shape, but he's an average built type of but he's an average built type of guy, and his name, the actor, is Michael Biehn. Mr. Dean. Hello. No, not that, no. But he is playing Kyle Reese, we'll find out. Right. And Kyle Reese has also travelled naked through a ball of lightning, right? And we don't know how, we don't know what's occurred, but we see him taking trousers, jeans, pants off of the homeless guy. We don't know if he beat him up. We don't know if he just held him down and took his pants off. Don't know what happened. We just know he took the man's jeans. Yeah, smelly jeans. Yeah, but he puts them on, and then a cop appears and shines his flashlight on the scene, and the homeless guy is still okay because he looks up and says, "That guy stole my pants." Yeah, smelly pants. Yeah. The cops give chase to Kyle Reese, and Kyle Reese manages to ambush one of the cops, right? And he takes his gun from him and his flashlight, and he says to the cop, "What's the date?" And the cop tells him, and he says, "What's the year? What's the year?" Right, okay. Leave the impressions to me. Definitely not. And either way, yes, it's Thursday the 12th of May. But today, no. And Kyle Reese asks the court, it's Thursday the 12th of May. Okay. Okay, so I guess this movie takes place over a weekend then. Yeah, I've never noticed that before. Yeah, it's like a long good weekend. That's not a good weekend. Not for most of the people involved. So Kyle runs away from the cops. He breaks into a store. Naughty, naughty. Yeah, but in there he manages to take a pair of trainers and a long jacket and another gun, a shotgun. Yeah, and he still has it. He makes it shorter. He does, so he can hide it in his coat. And pretty soon the cops have stopped chasing him. And yeah, why? I don't know. They've just sort of given up. I think they'll lose him really in the store. The store's not that big. No. And he's the only one in it. Yeah. They could have tried harder. And after that we see Kyle checking a phone book in a public phone box. What? A public phone box. You still see them occasionally. What is it? It's like a little box, a little booth that you stand in and you can make a phone call. You put money in and you make a phone call. Can you not just use his no dial? No, there were no mobiles. No, there were no mobiles back in 1984. So the phone book tells you everyone's name, address and phone number. That seems hazardous. Well, it would prove to be hazardous for certain people in this movie. Yeah, I'm glad they get rid of that. So we see the name that Kyle Reese stops on in the phone book. Yeah, it's Sarah Connor. It is. And then we cut to the next day, and Sarah Connor herself, played by Linda Hamilton, is riding along on a little scooter. I want that scooter, it looks like good fun. Yeah, a nice easy way to get round. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And she's going to work in a little diner. Meanwhile, the T-800 steals a car. Yeah, and he goes to a shop that sells guns. Yeah, he goes to a gun store because in America, yeah, well, you know. And he takes a load of guns, and yeah, they must cost a fortune. Well, they probably would cost a fortune, but he actually points the gun at the gun store owner and takes him out. Yeah, dang. Yeah. So then he drives to a phone booth, right? And there's a big man using the phone. Yeah, Hillbilly Jim from the WWF. No, he's no. He kind of looks like him. He's a big guy with a beard. And dungarees. I don't know if he does have dungarees. But anyway, T-800 just pulls him off the phone and steals his place. And he looks through the phone book and he stops at, do you remember? Yeah. An advert for a free Trinantaline. No. He stops at Sarah Connor. Oh yeah. Yeah. He couldn't do that now. What do you mean? Well, nowadays if you're looking for a certain name or something like that, you get a little box that says, prove you're not a computer. So he couldn't tick that box because he is a computer. Then we see the T-800 driving to the home of someone named Sarah Connor. Not Linda Hamilton, no, it's a different lady called Sarah Connor in the same city. Yeah. And he says, Sarah Connor. And she says yes. And he pushes his way into the house, takes out one of his guns, and just bang, takes her out. Yeah, it's a shame. Wait, how does he know that taking out these other Sarah Connors won't affect the timeline in the future? Well, I don't know. I mean, this any one of these people could be crucial to the timeline. In fact, he could take out one of these Sarah Connors, right? And her not being alive anymore might mean that the war never happens. It might mean that Terminators never take over. It might mean that machines don't ever try to take over the Earth. There are a lot of variables. Yeah, it's like that butterfly that flapped its wings and caused an earthquake. Yeah, it kind of is. So meanwhile, our Sarah Connor is still at work, and we see a news report at her work saying that someone with her same name has been taken out by an unknown assailant. Yeah. And her friend has great pleasure in showing her the news story. She thinks it's hilarious. She seems to. But then later on, it's the evening, and we see Kyle Reese sitting in a stolen car. Yeah, and he's just dreaming. He's dreaming about his past, which turns out to be the future. Yeah, that future we saw at the start. We see a flashback forward. Yeah, flash forward back. Flashback forward, I don't know. But we see him dream about his time back in the future. I'm confused. Anyway, and he's remembering a battle he had with some buddies and some machines, and they blow up a big giant robot thing that's chasing them, and they escape, and it's a big war zone, and it's scary. Yeah, it would be a scary place to be. But it is now night time, and the police have started to notice that more than one person with the same name, Sarah Connor, has been eliminated in that day. Yeah. Our Sarah Connor is back at home with her friend and flatmate, Ginger. Yep. Who is not Ginger. No, she's not called... No. Nothing wrong with being Ginger. No, there's not. But yeah, it's just her name. Yeah. And they're planning to go on a date with some friends, with some boyfriends, but Sarah's date cancels. Ha! How rude. And Sarah decides, I'll leave you and your boyfriend to it, Ginger. I'm going to go and see a movie. Yeah, what movie? I don't know. Well, 1984. Yeah. Well, I suppose the big one's Gremlins or Ghostbusters. Yeah. But she doesn't even go to a movie. She ends up just going to a bar. Yeah, she does. And while she's at the bar, she sees another news report on TV saying that someone else called Sarah Connor has been taken out. She decides to leave this bar, and as she's walking along, she feels like she's being followed. She is. And she goes into a club. Club Noir. Yeah, Club Noir. And while she's there, she goes in, uses the payphone, phones the police, and the police finally answer. And they say, oh, your name's Sarah Connor as well. You better just stay there. We'll send a car to come and pick you up. Don't worry, don't leave, don't talk to anyone. Just sit in a nightclub on your own, not looking weird at all. Yeah. Meanwhile, the T-800 is visiting Sarah Connor's home. Yeah. And he goes in and easily dispatches Ginger's boyfriend and Ginger. And I think he thinks that Ginger was Sarah Connor. Yeah, why does he not know what she looks like? I don't know. Because he obviously doesn't know what she looks like, otherwise he wouldn't have taken out the other Sarah Connors. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But then the phone rings and Sarah Connor leaves a message for Ginger saying that she's going to the police station, blah, blah, blah. And the T-800 realises, oh, that's Sarah Connor. Yeah. So, he goes to the club. Yep. And he finds her. Yeah, that. He starts her straight away. Yep, he just barges his way in, no one can stop him. And yeah, he spots her straight away. How? Yeah, I don't know how he knows what she looks like in a crowd of like 200 people. Yeah, he doesn't know what she looks like. We know that. But then he spots her straight away. Yeah, it's a bit weird that. So he pulls out his laser-sighted gun, points the laser at her, and then bang! Yeah, give me a fright. Yeah, there's a big bang, and he has been shot. The T-800 has been blasted by Kyle Reese, who has turned up just in the nick of time, and the T-800 is blasted right through a window by a shotgun. Yeah, and then he just gets up like nothing's happened, and this is our first clue that he's not actually a human. Now we know because we know the premise of the movie. Kyle Reese and Sarah Connor take off in a car. The T-800 steals a police car and chases them. There's a big car chase. Yeah, it's exciting. It's definitely exciting. And we see the T-800 without his shades on properly for the first time. Yeah, and do you know what? He looks so weird. Yeah, he does. Do you know why? Yeah, because he's got no eyebrows. What a nutcase. Yeah. You're not going to blend in like that, Terminator. Yeah, it's a bit of a strange look. It's horrible. So, the T-800 gives chase, and Kyle and Sarah manage to elude him for a little while, and they take shelter in a parking garage, and in there Kyle Reese lays out the whole plot to Sarah Connor, and we find out, I'll tell him, okay, we find out that Kyle Reese and the T-800 are here from the future. Sarah Connor is going to give birth to a young man called John Connor, who will be the saviour of the human race and the leader of the resistance. And the T-800 is a big metal machine covered in a little bit of flesh and muscle and blood, and well, a lot of muscle when it's Arnold, yeah. And yeah, Kyle has been sent to protect her. But guess what? He does more than protect her. So while they're hiding in this parking garage, the real police turn up, yeah. And there's a big gun battle, and then the T-800 turns up, and there's a bigger gun battle, and Sarah and Kyle manage to get away again. And at the same time, the T-800 has been damaged in this big gun battle, so the car was blown up and he was shot and all this. So he goes back to his hotel, do you remember? Yeah, he's got this little snelly hotel room, and he takes off and he looks in the mirror, and his eye is all like it's got blood, but it's also got like a robot eye, a laser eye behind it. It looks really cool. That this is the only part of the film I think isn't amazing special effects wise. What do you mean? Well, his head is like a big rudder head, and it's like yeah, it hasn't aged amazingly, but it's still pretty cool, and it's good to see practical effects, because now it'd just be CGI. Yeah, at least it'd look real. Yeah, but you know, give and take. Kyle is arrested, and Sarah and him are taken to the police station. He's under arrest, Sarah is there under protection, and while they're there, Kyle is interviewed and he tells the cops everything. Yeah, I don't know why he says there's a machine from the future, I'm from the future, she's going to save the future. Just say, oh, we had an argument, I'm her boyfriend, that other guy's her ex-boyfriend, we just had an argument, that's it. Yeah, they could have come up with something a bit more believable at least. Yeah, because guess what? The cops all watch his interview tape back with Sarah, and they're all sitting laughing at him. They're all like, oh, look at this guy, he's crazy. They do have a good laugh while watching his interview tape while Sarah's in the room. So we see the T-800 leaving his hotel room. He climbs out the window. Yeah. I don't know why. Well, I think it's because he's carrying so many guns. Who's going to stop him and say, excuse me, sir, you can't go anywhere with all those guns? I guess. But anyway, he just doesn't want the hassle. He's a Terminator. He shouldn't care about hassle. I know, but anyway, he climbs out the window and heads to the police station. And he goes into the police station, goes up to the reception desk, and says to the police officer behind the desk, Sarah Connor. Yeah. And the guy basically tells him you can't see her right now. So then we get one of the most famous lines in movie history. I'll be back. Yeah, I'll be back, says the T-800. And back he will be in a few seconds. Yeah, in a car. He just drives right into the police station. Crazy maniac. Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely terminating people. Yeah. With gusto. After that, he walks through the police station with his guns out, and he's just blasting everyone he sees, anything that moves. Yep. Except for, interestingly, Dr. Silverman, who is the prison psychiatrist. Yeah, he's left alone. Maybe he's just no threat. Maybe that's it. Or maybe he plays an important part in the timeline of the future, and the T-800 knows that. That's possible. So while this is all going on, Sarah Connor and Kyle Reese escape again, and they run out of the police station, and they travel for miles, and they take shelter in a storm drain for the night. Yeah, must be cold, must be, but they're cuddling up to each other, and they're getting to know each other, and Kyle is finally gaining the trust of Sarah Connor. Yeah. Kyle tells her even more about the future, and they end up going to a motel together. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't go there in the first place. Yeah, I don't know why they slept in a storm drain when they could have got a hotel room straight away. Yeah, anyway, they go into a storm drain, and she takes her top off. There is brief nudity. Yeah. No. But Kyle and Sarah Connor end up spending the night together in an intimate way. Yeah. He na stink. Yeah. Yeah. But they do that. They make some weapons, don't they? Yeah, they make some weapons and they make some sweet love. Ooh la la. The T-800 tracks him down to the motel, and there's another big chase when they realise he's here. So they go out and take a car and drive off. He gives chase. He finds a massive truck and he takes the driver and gets rid of him easily. Yeah, and then he steals the truck and chases him in this massive truck, and there's a massive chase. Another one? Yeah, another big car chase with a car and a massive truck. And the massive truck explodes. Boom! Yeah, and they think, is that it? It's over, because there's so much fire and flames. Huge explosion. Yeah. And they think, is that it? Is the T-800 taken out? Is that it? Destroyed? No. It is not. The T-800 comes walking through the flames. But guess what? What? He has lost all his flesh, and all his hair, and all his muscle, and all his blood, and he's this really cool silver skeleton with laserdine eyes. Yeah, he's a silver endoskeleton with big red eyes, and it's really cool. Really, really cool. Kyle and Sarah are both injured, but they manage to limp away into a big factory. Yeah, and guess what? He follows. Yeah, the T-800 gives chase because he will not stop ever. He relentlessly pursues them. While they're in the factory, Kyle tells Sarah to go on. He tries to fight off the T-800, that it doesn't go well. It doesn't. It's the last we see of Kyle Reese. Yeah, he is not long for this world. No. I mean, I suppose that's what happens when you try to take on a Terminator. Yeah, silly Kyle. But in the long run, it doesn't matter, because as long as he completes his mission, then that's what's important. That's why he travelled back in time in the first place. Yeah, I'm guessing he'd rather complete his mission and survive, probably. Now the T-800 has also been damaged and it's going slowly, and eventually it's crawling after her. But it won't stop. It's relentless. Yeah, it will not stop ever. And it keeps chasing her, and it's getting closer and closer, and she climbs through what looks like a little tunnel. She sneaks through that, and then the T-800 is coming behind her, but the tunnel's getting tighter and tighter. She manages to slip through. The T-800 is almost through. It's reaching out, and it almost touches her. But then they realise the tunnel is not a tunnel. It's a big giant pressing machine. Yeah, it's a big crusher. Yeah. So, Sarah Connor says, "You're terminated." And she presses the button, and the big crusher goes, yeah, and it crushes the T-800, and that is that. She done it. She terminated the Terminator. She is an action hero. Yeah, she done pretty well for just being a little midtown waitress. Yes, she did. And all that's left of the Terminator is one of his arms. Yeah. Oh, they could do a sequel. Well, actually, they did do a sequel. Did they use the arm? Well, yeah, it's basically based on the arm. Oh, the arm comes to life like Thing and the Adam Sandler. No. Listen, we'll watch it some point. What's it called? It's called Terminator 2. Ah, Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Oh, cool. Did anyone see it? It's one of the biggest films of all time. We'll get around to watching it at some point. But at the end of this movie, we see Sarah Connor driving through America. It looks like she's heading to South America. She stops at a gas station. For gas? Yes, for gas. Or petrol, as we would say in this country. But she stops to refuel her truck. And while she's there, a young boy comes up and takes a photo of her. What? How rude. Well, it's a Polaroid, which means it prints out straight away. Right. And then he says, "You can buy this." He says, I don't know, $5, and she says, "No, I'll give you $4." And he says, "Right, fine." So she takes a photo of herself, and then she rubs her tummy, because we find out she is pregnant. Oh my goodness, is John Connor? I guess so. So Kyle Reese is John Connor's father? Yep. So John Connor sent his own father back in time to naking his father. I guess so. This movie is a headache. Yeah, an enjoyable headache, but if you think too long and too hard about it, it's a headache. Yeah. The last thing we see of the movie is the little boy says something in Spanish, and there's an old man there, the little boy's grandfather, I'd assume, and Sarah Connor says, "What did he say about me?" No. She asks what the little boy said, and the old man says, "There's a storm coming." And Sarah Connor says, "I know," and drives off, and that's the end of the movie. So, The Terminator, 1984, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, Michael Biehn, no, not Mr. Bean, and Linda Hamilton. What did you think of this movie? Absolutely loved it. Did you? Yeah, it's kind of like a horror. You mean the way the T-800 is stalking Sarah? Yeah, and he's non-stop, like Michael Myers, except nuts killer. Yeah. And what else did you like? Loads of action. Loads of car chasing. Yeah, but it doesn't feel like it's too much when you're watching it. Oh no, definitely not. And it's good to see Arnold. It's always good to see Arnold. Yeah, this was his first big movie. Really? Yeah. Anyway, please check out other videos on this channel. Yeah, the good ones. They're all good. And please hit like. Please subscribe. And stay tuned. And we'll see you next time. What are we going to watch next? I don't know. But I'll tell you what. You can leave us with a great line this time. Instead of just saying goodbye, you can say the line. What line? The line Arnold said in the film. The line that Arnold made famous. Oh yeah. Right. You say it. I'll return. No, we'll be back. Goodbye.